Hey everyone, just thought I'd come on and do a live video tonight. I've got the YouTube channel up and working. This will be the place I'll do any lives for the next little while. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to shout out and I'll try to help you out as much as possible. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. There's a lot happening in Melbourne, in Victoria, Australia. There are events happening throughout the world, with 5G networks and how they're working and what's going on. I just thought more than anything I'd come on tonight and talk to you guys in regards to my thoughts on what actually is out there and going on right now. I feel like there's a lot of fear-mongering going on around the world, and particularly in Melbourne right now in regards to the COVID-19 crisis, and people are getting put away back into their homes, getting told they need to have smaller gatherings. There's talk of police knocking on people's doors as well. So for me, that sounds quite ridiculous. I don't think that should be something that happens. Obviously, if the police are going and knocking on people's doors, it's a big invasion of privacy. If people are feeling unwell, they can go to the doctors and let them know. The biggest thing I would feel is that our rights to live a normal life should be put out in front of anything else. And the problem with people getting their doors knocked on and whatever else is that if they're checking for temperatures, it's flu season right now. So surely if it's flu season right now, people are going to have the flu. That's what happens. So there should be thought processes put in place for what actually is happening out there in the world. Now, I've just heard in the last 10 minutes about someone else getting sick in another part of the world. So, in another part of Melbourne. So it sounds like there's someone in Caroline Springs that has been tested as positive for COVID-19. They were feeling unwell and got tests done. Now, if you look at Caroline Springs and have a look at where the 5G networks are opening up as well, you're going to see a very, very strong correlation between where these people have gotten sick and where the 5G networks are being turned on. Literally 50 meters away from where these particular people are. So very strong correlations between where they are getting sick. Also, Melbourne at the moment have 57 new 5G installations turned on at the start of May. And you're looking now at the, 22nd of June, just roughly over a month later. So it's a bit of a concern that a month later, people are starting to get really sick all around Melbourne. 57 different 5G towers were turned on at the start of May. So keep those numbers in mind because we can pretty much target and pinpoint where people are getting ill. Now, my biggest concern is with COVID-19 being out there, surely they're going to be looking at keeping people as well as possible. So there's a few things you can do to stay well. Exercise, which we're not allowed to do. The second one I would say is breathing exercises. And we're being told to wear masks 24/7. So wearing a mask 24/7 isn't conducive with being well. Wearing a mask 24/7 means you're breathing in carbon dioxide continually all day. And it actually takes away from your breathing. So it doesn't make any sense at all for people to be wearing face masks when they're looking to not get sick from COVID-19. That to me is lowering your immune system, as is stopping going to the gym and stopping your workouts. Now, the productive and smart way for people to be looked after during this crisis would be to say the ones who have bad immune systems, the elderly, people who have been sick. The idea would be to say to those people, you need to stay indoors or stay away from other people that may be unwell. The same as what you do for a normal flu season is to say to the elderly, you don't need to go out and be around people, and to say to people who are have bad immune systems to stay away. That's pretty common sense. It makes sense to me. Now, yesterday I was saying to people I was out and about, and it was not a nice experience being in shopping centres and places like that and seeing people wearing masks, people queuing up outside these stores. Now, the point that they were queuing up outside these stores was quite ridiculous because you're queuing up outside a store like a Rebel Sports and places like that. And as soon as you get inside the store, people are standing within a foot from each other. People are allowed in Bunnings and Woolworths touching every sort of mandarin and apple and watermelon and whatever else with bare hands. And then in other stores, you're allowed 8 people. It makes no sense. None of the rules actually make any sense at all. And yet we're pushing them out there to people, pushing, saying this is the law, this is the rules, this is what we must follow. And even my kids who are 10 and 9 years old are working out that this makes no sense. It makes no sense at all to be stopping people from going into these areas at all. So we need to make a bit of a stand here, and we need to say we're not going to be sheep, and we're not going to follow and be made to look stupid by following these rules that make no sense. So it's a bit of a time to step up right now. It's the same with 5G right now. So we've got summits going on all around Australia and all around the world looking into the 5G network and how much pain and damage it causes to the human body. Now, a lot of the testing that's been done is done for the thermal effects, so how it affects your skin, not how it affects your cells internally. Now, people are finding that around the world, there's studies now being done that are showing links between COVID and 5G. So I'm probably going to get to do another live video tonight and then be shut down. But for me, we have to have these conversations. We can't just follow the narrative and say it is as it is and we must do exactly what we're being told. We actually have to have a bit of a look and say, what is the truth here? What is actually going on in the world? Because we can't continue to rely on the media as it is right now. As part of what we're doing with our group pages, we'll be looking at doing some media platforms on there as well. So we've opened up a social media site called Zamamo. On there, we'll be running news reports. I haven't talked to the guys much about it, but I'm happy to do reports from around the world and have a look at all the different things that are actually happening that are not following what we're being told in our narrative. I'm just seeing here, Sienna Vardy. Many are happy to comply without question. That's exactly right. People are happy to follow this narrative and have no questions and no assumptions, even though they must be thinking to themselves, this doesn't make sense. And that's what I was seeing in the shopping centers the last couple of days, is people are walking along and you can see they're confused because why is one store having one rule and other stores having other rules? It doesn't actually make any sense. Now, I was talking about 5G. Now, with the 5G networks, we've been trying to get in touch with RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy, because he's a big advocate for safety in these areas. One of the ladies that works with him, Daphne Takova, I got into a conversation with her yesterday via email, so we're hoping to talk to her as well. She actually went before the US Senate to talk about the dangers of 5G and wireless networks. So we've got a lot of things that we're trying to do. I say to people, try and question the narrative. Like, wake up as many people as you can. Talk to your friends and say, there's 1,600 plus studies showing that 5G is unsafe, and yet it's being rolled out. Now, we talk and put a hashtag together that was health over profit, because health should be going before profit every single day of the week. And it's ridiculous to think that money is actually ruling in this circumstance, because the 5G network, if you went on the science, there's no way that it would be getting rolled out. Vaccinations, if you went on the science, there's no way they would rush through a COVID-19 vaccination and try and play out that it's safe. It wouldn't happen that way. It can't happen that way. So we're all sort of coming along and walking down this path and following this narrative. And we've done it for a long time. We've followed the government's words and said, yep, whatever they tell us is the right thing. But when you start getting sick because you're psychologically unwell, when you start seeing your kids suffering because they're at school. I saw a photo that made me cry, and it was a couple of weeks ago, and it was pictures from a school in the UK, and it was showing kids standing in squares on the ground that weren't allowed to go out of these squares because if they left them, then they would be too close to the other kids. And that made me cry. I have kids myself, and the thought of them being stuck in these little boxes and not being able to move and interact is ridiculous. Human beings have to interact with each other. That's what we do. It's part of our nature. We're social beings. This social distancing is a load of bullshit, because saying social and yet distance makes no sense. There's nothing social about this distancing. Just call it distancing, because what you're actually doing is fucking these people up. you're taking them apart from each other when really we should be more together than ever before. When you're going through a crisis, what do? You gather around your family and you look after each other. I think if we did a referendum and a consensus of what people think here, it would be the herd mentality or the sheeples following each other. Even they, if they got a choice, do you want to put the elderly away? Do you want to put the ones who are sick and get them out of harm's way? And let everyone else catch this thing if they have to, because it's a 0.002% death rate. Let those people catch, and that's even when they've had everyone involved with it, and let people get sick and let them get better. Because if it's a virus like they say it is, our immunity will build by being around it. By hiding from it and then going outside and getting this without having our immunity build up, we're all going to get sick and die from it. It doesn't make sense either. And I know I'm saying that word a lot, but if you're looking at a narrative and it makes no sense, why would you continue to go down the same path? It's ridiculous to think that people are going to go that way. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about is if you're looking at things that don't make sense, 5G is a perfect example. Now, I'm going to tell you guys how it actually works in case you need a reminder. Hopefully, we get some people from our group. So we run the group, and I'll put it here down the bottom. It's called, I'll type it in, Worldwide Unified Action Against 5G. Now, that group is on our Zamamo site, which is zamamo.com. So that's our site that has that on it. Now, we're also on Facebook. On Facebook, we have a slightly different name. The only thing is Worldwide Unified Peaceful Action Against 5G. I'm a single finger typer, so it does take me a little while to get these things up. So on Facebook, we're Worldwide Unified Peaceful Action Against 5G. The only thing with Facebook is I've been banned from it, so I can't use Facebook at the moment. They may come and say you can't use YouTube and everything else as well, but you know, at this stage, they're saying I can't use Facebook. I did check. I thought it was all social media, but it's just Facebook. So I can still post into YouTube and go from there. So hopefully that all sort of works out. And yeah, people can sort of get a bit of an idea of what's happening around the world with the 5G networks, because we want to educate people as much as possible. The other thing I was going to talk to you guys about was, if possible, I'd love for people to subscribe. I don't want to sound like one of those weirdos that says like, subscribe, share, and all that stuff. But if we can get 1,000 people onto here, it means I can run lives from my phone. Now, that helps because it means that I can be doing it anywhere. Whereas at the moment, I'm limited to doing it on my laptop, which is fine. 8 o'clock each night, I'll come on and do a live anyway. But if you guys could subscribe and share this around to as many people as possible, that would be amazing. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about was how 5G actually works. So a refresher course for people that aren't quite sure. So the 5G network is set up to sold to the public as faster downloads and faster internet. Now, what the 5G network actually entails is 2, 3, and 4G networks have wider wavelengths. Now, when you come to 5G, they have what they call millimeter wavelengths. So the wavelengths are shorter and more powerful, but they don't travel as far. Now, the idea of that is that it actually isn't about quicker downloads. Yes, you can download a movie much quicker, but what it's really about is lower latency, so less dropout. What that means for governments and organizations is that they can start running their AI systems. They can start doing automated surgeries. They can start running robotic cars, but for the military, it's huge. So the military can run weapons, laser weapons, drones to do drone strikes and things like that as well. You have to think bigger. Always think bigger. Don't think here that I'm watching Telstra and they're saying I'm going to get much faster internet. You have to actually think about what these things are coming in for and why they're being rushed while we're in lockdown. Now, the other thing that's getting rolled out around Australia and the world is facial recognition cameras, which is all part of this 5G network as well, which they'll call a smart city. So you'll know when your bins are full, which is amazing. Like, it's so much harder to drive up to a bin and see that it's full or go there every week because it fills at the same time each week. I know for me, the smart cities and my 5G giving me these bins that I know are full at a certain time because it comes up on my Wi-Fi system, that's going to change my life. Now, what you got to remember is with these 5G systems, because the shorter wavelengths don't travel as far, they're going to have to set up every 150 meters small cells. Now, you're seeing it happen in parts of America and other parts of the world. Have a look at places like Wuhan. I'm just going to throw out some names. San Marino, Italy, New York, around the Queens area. Those places all have these cells every 150 meters because once you go to those higher waves, it won't travel through buildings or trees. So you need these small cells every 150 meters. Now, what you got to imagine is once you have these small cells every 150 meters, they are like a microwave oven. So they're actually like 4 microwave ovens working at about 4,500 watts, but with the door open permanently, and that microwave oven going 24/7. So think about that when you have a small cell out the front of your house, right outside your window. That's right where it's going to be. Now, millimeter wavelengths starts at 26 gigahertz. The 5G getting rolled out into lots of areas of Australia at the moment, pardon me, actually being run out at 3.4 gigahertz, but they have the option to flick a switch and take that right up into your millimeter wavelengths from 26 gigahertz upwards. Now, Parramatta and the Gold Coast in Australia have already gone to that 26 gigahertz range. Now, that won't travel as far, as I said, so I'll have to put in small cells every 150 meters. Every 150 meters. Now, what this is doing is making an electrosmog, like a pea soup, that's going to be everywhere. So we're going to be covered in this pea soup. I always say if you could see these waves, like you can see smoke from a fire, you would actually be scared because you would see these waves are everywhere. Now, the people that I'm worried about as well are kids. So in schools, Wi-Fi systems, they're actually going forwards in leaps and bounds. So you have Wi-Fi not just inside your schools, but you're getting 5G systems put in. Now, there's a school in New South Wales that I did some research on today, Waverley College. Now, if you look at the area of Waverley and see the COVID-19 cases again, I'm just going to throw it out there, people have been getting sick in that area a lot. I think kids from the school got sick as well. Now, they're actually using a system there. I can't remember the name of it, but they're using a system there that works internally in the school, but they actually use processors as well to push Wi-Fi out into the school grounds and outside because they're using facial recognition cameras in their school, which is a big thing. Now, within that school grounds as well, they've got the Wi-Fi system so you can use your computers outside. Now, on either side of that school, it's triangulated by 3 big 5G towers as well. So if you think of the electrosmog, so again, if you could see this smog in the air from the electrosmog for the Wi-Fi, this school would be covered in it. Now, what it does in these millimeter wavelengths to your body is it can heat the skin, that's what they say as part of it, but it also messes with your cells and your DNA. And there's studies everywhere. And I've dropped them into my last video that I did about the studies that are showing the links. Now, all of this is studied. So I'm not just throwing away like words and putting it out there. I'm actually saying here's studies to have a look at what millimeter wavelengths do. So there's no conspiracy from us. We're not saying that 5G causes coronavirus. What we're saying is 5G hasn't been tested on humans and needs more testing done straight away. Because while this virus is around, which may be just the seasonal flu, mind you, while this virus is around, we don't want something else messing with our bodies of ourselves, our elderly, or our kids. That's not something that we need in our lives anymore. So that's what we're actually saying here. Have a look into the studies of what it can do. So it affects brain function. In what am I trying to say? If someone's pregnant in their stomach, it can affect that as well. So they're looking at studies between electromagnetics and autism. They're looking at studies between electromagnetics in the air and Alzheimer's because it affects your brain cells. So they've done studies on people sitting in a non-thinking sort of functioning way or sleeping, and they've had a look at how it works within their brain cells as well. So electromagnetics can cause problems with people's brains, obviously. We're electric beings, so we need to be aware that that's going to happen, of course, as well. You can barely hear me, Epsi Sigma. I'll see if I can turn this thing up. I don't know if I can. What does this button do? Let's have that mutes me altogether. Wonder why you can't hear. I'll see if I can turn it up for next time anyway. Maybe if I speak right in here, or I just speak louder. I'm speaking English, Epsi Sigma. Well, I might leave it at that anyway. Hopefully you guys could hear it, and that would be great. Hi, Darwood. Darwood? And hey, Sienna as well. Hopefully you guys could hear everything throughout. You can hear perfectly clear. I think it's just Epsi Sigma. Well, at least I got to look like an idiot leaning in. I can keep on going if you want to know anything else about the 5G networks. If you have any questions, let me know. That'd be fantastic, and I can talk to you as well. So let me know if there's any questions at all, and I can help you out. That's all right, Epsi Sigma. Any questions, just let me know. I was just going to talk to you guys finally about some other things that are going on with this as well. So let me know if there's any other questions. I'm just having a look. So keep on going. Yeah. So the last thing I was going to mention as well with these 5G networks, there's a couple other things as well. So what can you do? It's no good. I'm sorry that you're depressed, Epsi. Now, what you can do is start writing letters. So on our groups, in both our pages, on WhatsApp, on our Facebook page and on our Zamamo group, we have set up letters that you can write. So the letters called cease and desist letters. Now, you can put those out there to your ministers, federal ministers. It's on a federal level. You can put them out there. You can put them out there through to the telcos as well. It's the best thing to do. We've got a great guy working with us. His name's Zev, and he's put together all this paperwork, and he's working with a legal team as well. So hopefully that can help you guys out. Now, what we can do is once those letters are written, you need to get them signed off by 3 JPs. And then if you get those letters signed off and sent through, the idea is to stop the telcos from working illegally, putting these things up. Now, we've already done it ourselves and served it on the telcos. On top of that, there's what we call an acquiescence of silence letter. So that's once the telcos haven't responded, it is put in place to stop them as well. So there are quite a few things happening around the world. Daphne Takova, that I mentioned earlier, in America, she's got a site called Wait, which is, what is it again? I can't remember. I've got the worst memory at the moment. I can't remember. Let me find it. I'll just be 1 second. I'll find it here. I'm just finding what it is. Here we go. No, that's not it. Just scrolling for you. Sorry for this, impromptu, but I want to give you guys an answer to what this one is because it's a really important website. So Daphne Takova was actually sat in front of the American Senate and spoke to them about the dangers of 5G. So a really, really amazing person. And yeah, we're going to hopefully have them on for an interview, which will run through Zoom or on here. Just reading up to the name. So We Are the Evidence is what they're called. We Are the Evidence. So it's WATE, wait. So what they're doing is looking for people that are electromagnetic sensitive, and they'll get those people on board and start telling their stories. And what we're looking to do, the more stories we can get, the more people that we can show this is having a negative effect on, the more we can put it out there and start class actions against them. Do our Aaron Brockovich on them. So that's one thing we can do is also check out that website. I'm just going to put it here. We are the evidence.org. Now, this is my first live in a little while, so I'm not nervous, but a little bit stammery, so I'll get better. I was a bit excited to do it because I haven't done one in a long time. So your questions here. So Darwood S, I'm currently in the middle of 3 towers in the suburb Meadow Heights. The main tower is near a kindergarten, primary school, church and mosque. It seems that our community isn't aware. Do what I do. Just go and knock on doors. There's nothing against doing that. Like if you go and start knocking on doors and just letting people know, do you know this is here near you? Do you know 5G is different because it's millimeter wavelengths? Did you know that these millimeter wavelengths have not been tested on humans? but all the scientific evidence points towards these being dangerous. The WHO website, WHO, shows that they are possibly carcinogenic. Carcinogenic. I can never say that word. They cause cancer, which is not good. It says it on there, but yet this still goes ahead. Now, we spoke to a lady in Mornington who has a rare form of cancer. So we know that this is something that possibly is causing cancer in people. She has 14 blood count 14,000 times higher than what it should be. And we're going back to her with a specialist to get her house tested properly to see if we can put things in place. Because there are EMF protection things out there that we can put into people's homes to try and help. Ideally, we're going to get 5G stopped. But for now, if people are feeling sick or starting to feel the effects, we can help by talking to them about what we can do to help protect. Something as basic as some chicken wire can make a big difference because it actually takes away from what's coming through from the radiation from the towers. The only thing is, if you put chicken wire on one side to stop it coming from there, you're going to still be getting hit from the other side from all the radioactive stuff that's coming from other towers. So you've got to be a bit sensible with how you do it. And I'm not a professional in that field. I'm just here to speak truth and try and share and spread awareness. Located on the top of the local shopping center. See, I would go in and talk to that shopping center. Why not? It doesn't hurt to go in and talk to them either. You've spoken to the church and the mosque. Ask them how much money they got paid for having that on their roof, and ask them if they're happy to be liable if people around them start getting sick. There's a good question for them. Straight Coke. Straight Coke. Better than Coke Zero. Door knock and have chats. Awareness is key. As long as you have facts, people will listen. That's really sort of exactly it, Straight Coke. Like, I think it's about letting people know and informing people. So we can all be the difference. All of us can make a change. And it's about what you say inside yourself. And that's probably what I'll talk about for the last 3 minutes here. Every single one of you actually has the power to make a difference here. And, you know, for myself, I got stopped and I've been shut up a little bit. But in the end, you got to be patient and you can find a way around this. And all of us have power, every single person. And Zev was talking about this the other day and other people have said it. It doesn't matter if 100 bullets are shot, and we're not trying to kill anyone, but it doesn't matter if 100 bullets are shot. If one hits and causes this to go down, all of us benefit from it. And I feel like we can all make a huge difference here. And there's no reason for us to stop because we're getting censored. There's no reason for us to stop with any fear. We can actually all make a huge difference here. The problem with 5G, and if you guys are happy, I'll keep on going a little bit over the 30 minutes. The biggest problem with 5G is the weaponizing side of it as well, and the security breaches that it can have, and the fact that you're going to lose all your civil liberties and your securities as well. So military-wise, this can be used, if you start thinking in gigahertz between 20 or millimeter length gigahertz from 20 gigahertz all the way through to 300 gigahertz, that's military grade areas in there as well. As I said, 95 gigahertz is where you can make people stop in their tracks because they feel a burning sensation on their skin. Around the 56 gigahertz and thereabouts areas, you can see through people's walls and see their thermal imaging. So you can know if people are awake or asleep or moving around their house. And these things have been used in the military before as well. There's heaps of paperwork out there, ex-CIA files and things like that, where you can see what these systems can be used for. Just have a look at the towers. They look like military grade towers as well. So, you know, I think everyone should really be aware, not necessarily alarmed, but aware, and realize these things are happening right now. And it's not about waiting to make a difference. Write these letters and do it now. So here, Straight Coke saying, perfect, we all have the power. The letters are amazing. We'll use them and send them to the appropriate people. Yeah, definitely. So they're on our Facebook group, which is, what did I say it was? Worldwide Unified Peaceful Action Against 5G. They're in our Zamamo group, which is the new platform, the best platform in the whole entire world. No censorship, no data mining, no privacy concerns, run by myself, Zev, Mon, Yusra, Chantal, Leonie. All the guys are on the page, and they're all amazing, 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 amazing people. And this group, this new page is so good. It's like Facebook. We're going to get an app put together for it as well. It's $7 a a month. And all of that goes into the running of the page to keep it going, because we're not doing advertising. You don't get advertising and stuff in there. It's really a truth-seeking page. And you can pay $70 for the year as well. But I'm not here to sort of spruik that anyway. Yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about was the security factors. So the fact that these facial recognition cameras are everywhere means that they're looking to see who's coming and going from the city. So where they're saying they're using it in schools, it's a bit of a test run. So they're using it for roll calls to see who's coming in and out of the school classrooms. But the other thing that they're saying with that is that they can actually pick up if someone goes to the gym or the library or wherever else. And it goes straight to an app, and the parent can call, it calls out to the kids' parents to say that they're at school or not. Now, think of that on a bigger scale in a city. So if it's a city where people are working and it's picking up on all the normal people who are going in there, then why is it not in people's heads that if it's used in a school and it gets used in a city and they know who comes in all the time, if people come in that aren't meant to be in the city, then what are we doing? Like, if people are coming in to the city that aren't meant to be there and these systems are working it out, they can send police and other people in to take you out of that city straight away. And there's stuff happening around the world that people aren't aware of, and I'll put it out here right now. In the north of China, there's a community of Muslim people in the north of China. I can't remember the name of the town. I can never remember it. It starts with maybe Z or K or U. No, it starts with U, Yunga or something like that. But anyway, I should know it better, but I don't, and I can't look it up right now. But in that city, in that area, they're using the 5 Uyghurs. That's it. Thank you, Darwood S. Now, in that area, they are actually using the facial recognition and the 5G networks to work out who the people are and what they're doing. And now what's happening is they're putting them into these camps when they're not Chinese, they're not living the Chinese way, and they're trying to re-educate them into the Chinese lifestyle and the communism side of things. It is scary. It is scary to see that happening. Imagine if that's their test ground or their guinea pigs, the way that they're trying to roll it out across everywhere else in the world. There are a lot more things going into this than what people perhaps realize, but we're trying to be gentle and wake people up. Now, what I would say is go and do your own research on everything. Don't be alarmed. Fear, I keep on saying, is an illusion. If you look too far ahead, that's where fear comes in. Do what you can do today to make a difference, because everything you do today is going to help your kids in the future, your elderly, yourself, your loved ones. And that's what we're all about. So keep moving on. Do your research. We'll keep doing these videos. Hopefully I can do a couple over the next few days. And yeah, if you go onto Zamamo, someone's written here, is Zamamo going to be advertised by Fanos from the 99%? I'd love to see it get more awareness from members. We have asked them to do it, so hopefully they get on board. And then they're doing their own page with subscribers going on there, and we'll help them get people onto their group as well. It's all about all of us working together, because you know, all of us can see what's happening out there, and we really should be uniting to make a huge difference right now. And then Sana Vardy said, $7 a month is nothing. I'm on Zamamo and I love it. It's brilliant. It's like what Facebook used to be before all the bullshit. And I'll probably, again, get this video taken down or thrown out for saying that, but we get to make a difference. We can make a page that's for the people, by the people, that is censorship-free and allows freedom of speech and allows people to say, this is what I stand for, and I'm going to make a huge difference to this world, because we get one world and we get one chance at this life, and we can all make a huge difference together, spreading peace, spreading love, but don't take the bullshit. Like, if you see something that's wrong, stand up and say something. Why would you sit there and say, this is going to be accepted by me and my family? If you think it's wrong, stand up for yourself. Okay? I'm going to get going in a minute. I think you're all amazing. And I think, you know, there's only knowledge and love that's going to be coming from this channel. And as I say, get onto the Zamamo platform if you want to see us every night. I'm happy to come on and chat every single day. We're putting in a lot of time behind the scenes. We're going to keep on going and visiting the places around the area. And we're going to get this 5G network turned off. And we're going to get it happening worldwide. I have confidence that we can do it, because I know the people I'm working with are amazing. I actually should say as well, I'm going to throw out a quick thank you to all my moderators. So I've got, and I'll probably miss someone because I am doing it on the spot, but my admins on my group, the Worldwide Unified Peaceful Action Against 5G on Facebook. I've got Leonie, I've got Chantal, admins. You guys are amazing. Thank you. They've kept the page running when I've been off, and it's been so good. We've got all our moderators. We've got Heather, we've got Joe, we've got Cherry, we've got, I'm going to forget people, Matea, Carol. All these people are amazing. But every other group out there fighting against 5G in Australia, they're all doing amazing things as well. We Say No to 5G Australia, the Byron groups, the Northern Rivers for Safe Technology, the Australian group for Safe Technology, they're all doing amazing, amazing things. And as I said, I got censored, I got taken away off my group, doing legal stuff now just to get that finalized and fixed. I'm doing it all for myself. No one's helping with that. The money that comes towards trying to help me is all going towards stopping 5G and the legalities of that. I wouldn't have that any other way. And, you know, I'm going to keep making a stand, and I'll never give up on this, because I feel like all of us have a duty to look after ourselves and our loved ones. Okay, I'm going to get going now. Peace out. Love you all.